And welcome, friends, to Kiki's Keys to Unlocking Your Best Life, sharing stories of people who have been through their worst and are now living their best. And I'm here live today on KVOI The Voice, but you can catch us also on YouTube at Kiki's Keys Life or at our website, www.kikiskeys.life. And I am here today with a good friend. I've had the pleasure of getting to know this guy for a little over a year now in the networking scene. He's out there hustling and doing the business every day. Always showing up, always showing his best. And yet there's a real surprising kind of background story. So I invited our good friend Kit Fung here. Kit, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kiki. I appreciate it.
Go ahead, talk right into that mic there. There you
sorry
go.
about that.
No, I just want us to be able to hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great to try to look back to the memories, growing up. As you may know, I mentioned I'm was born in Saigon, Vietnam.
That's right.
So, after the Vietnam War, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, with the North versus the South. Of course, we're from the South. So, to make a story kind of short, but I'm from family of 5. I'm the youngest. So in Vietnam, when I was born, of course, we have everything. But, hearing what my mom, we tell the story when, back my college days, her life was very struggling, So
Right.
when she met my dad, in Vietnam, you either rich or you poor. There's no middle class.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I got lucky, when I was born, that's when our family became successful. My dad was a medical MD, the medical doctors. And then, of course, my mom is a retail designer.
Okay, so
And
your parents were well educated.
Yeah.
Just to kind of catch our listeners up, there was civil war going on in Vietnam. This is in the 70s, correct?
Yes.
When were you born?
Yeah, I was born in 72.
Yep, we're just going to throw your age right out there for everyone. Don't you love it?
Yeah. So I was born in 72,
Yeah.
and the war was finally over when they pulled everyone out, was 76.
Yeah.
So since my dad was working as an MD, my godfather, which is an American soldier, he took my dad with him when they pulled everyone out.
Okay.
So my brother also, like I mentioned earlier, I'm from a family of 5. I'm the youngest with 3 boys and 1 girl. So, so my sister and all my other brothers they gone already. They
Okay.
pulled 78. So
they left after your father or with your father?
right,
And you remained
my
behind?
My sister went with my father, and also 2 of my brothers went with my father.
And how old were you at this time?
I would say 6, 7. So
Do you have memories?
No, I'm sorry. My apologies. So 72, they put in 4 or 5.
Okay.
So yeah. So I didn't really get to know my dad. Honestly, growing up, like I say, we were successful. He's at work. My mom's at work. I have a nanny. So not truthfully, not really see him, right?
You guys
so,
had quite a good setup. Your parents were educated. They were
Yes.
working. They were able to care for you. So what was going on that was threatening that or making your father and your siblings follow him back to America?
Well, when they took over, the North took over. Now it's like everything that we have is going to be gone.
Because they're communists.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we're afraid of. So everything, when they left. So to my story,
Mm-hmm.
they already stationed in the U.S. already. So now with us, of course, my mom came from a big family, and we have relatives and everything. So each year we try to sneak out. We'll just, because we save enough. Of course, when you have to either have lots of money for you to get kind of get to go out in there. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's
okay.
like just to be out, right? So
Take a deep breath. We're
Yeah.
all good. No, just tell. That's okay. We have a little bit of time to share your story, so I'm really excited about it. So you are now probably 5, 6. Your father's moved to America. Your older siblings have followed him. You're back in Vietnam with mom.
Yeah.
And which
Just
siblings?
Yeah, just me and my mom,
Just
and
two of you?
yeah, and well, another brother that went with us, which is the one that's next to me.
And do you have memories? You said that you guys had attempted to escape multiple times. Do you
Yes.
remember those attempts?
Yes.
was that
So
like?
my brother, of course, went with my cousin. Like when they tried to do it, of course they get caught. They were in jail. Also, it's traumatizing because
Well,
they
and
were getting beat up and things. But as
if they
for
even
me,
walked out alive. I mean,
yeah.
there's that fear that you
Yeah.
not see them again if they do get caught.
yeah, and there are some that actually couldn't make it again. So I got lucky. My mom and I got lucky. We went the first time, and we lucky enough when we at sea.
So you guys like went to the coast,
Yeah,
got on a boat,
got on the
literally.
boat. Yep.
Was this kind of like an underground attempt to get you to America? Like,
No,
we hear
no,
a lot
no.
about people
So
crossing the
when
border.
when we snuck out, it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I remember I just barely awake, and my mom just like, hey, we need to go. We grab
Right.
everything. So, and of course we went further south. So when we snuck out, we had like kind of like a motor bus, and they'll take us, and of course in the middle of the night. And then when we head more south, now it's out in the country. So when we're out in the country, it's more like, of course, that's when, for me, it's like I'm just a kid, like seeing the beach. And I was like, okay, what's going on here,
like,
So,
are we on vacation,
Yeah,
Mom? You're so
but-
young.
right.
It's hard to comprehend it all.
Right.
Did
And,
you feel scared even though you didn't understand it fully?
No, not scared at all. But when we all got into this small little boat, then I was like, okay, what's going on?
Right.
So
Something's unusual now.
Right. And then my mom just kind of hold me. She's like, hey, just stay by my side. Don't go anywhere. Of course, my brother, the older one, is very protective. And he say the same thing. He's like, hey, just be around us. Don't worry about anything,
How long did that take to travel from Vietnam to America by boat?
Well, I know that we were at sea for about 3 days and 4 nights. But again, we got lucky because of Thailand fishermen kind of pull us in.
Okay.
Now, there's stories, out there later that it could be pirates, it could be, but with us, the reason why, like I mentioned, we got lucky because they were willing to take us to Thailand, but of course they want money, and they want if you have jewelry, you have.
So you only had to go from Vietnam to Thailand,
Yeah, to
and then hop
Thailand.
an airplane probably
Yeah,
to come
exactly.
to America.
So I went from Vietnam to Thailand. We at a refugee camp for roughly about 8 to 10 months, and like literally near the beach
In Thailand,
in Thailand.
what was that like?
Oh, to me it was awesome.
New
To me-
friends to play with, new
Yeah,
scene, beach.
The reason why I say it's awesome because we were like in this little camp, and it's like everyone know everyone. I just feel like we're like a family. So there were other kids there, and I can. Like that's where I learned how to swim. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm literally near the beach. I go out
You thought you were
there
at camp and having a good old time, right?
right, and of course my mom is afraid. The
That's what I
Thai.
was going to ask you next a little bit is, I mean, you're young, you got that perspective of that child, everything's just in your world, But your mother, your siblings went before you, your father went before you. Have you ever talked to them about it since and asked them how they felt during that transition?
Yeah. There when we had a family reunion, we kind of talk about bringing back the old memories and everything. So of course I'm sitting there eavesdropping, like want to learn more. And yeah, they sometimes they'll sit there and cry because among that happening, their friends got killed or got pushed overboard, like
There's
in
a
the
lot of
boating
loss,
accident.
a lot
Yeah,
of risk
so
in
there,
that.
there there was a lot of things going on, and for me to like trying to learn, I was like, wow, yeah, how that didn't happen to us, and so,
How
but
does that shape you for who you are today then?
it made me realize, because the way my mom act, like, hey, you're the baby, you had everything, you know.
Yeah.
But you don't know like how bad the situation is when you were growing up.
You
like
were
with
really
us.
sheltered from that.
Right. So, and then learning from it, and I forgot to mention this too, that I never had a father figure because my dad passed when I came to the state. So 82, my dad passed. So my mom never remarried. So
And
when she
80
never
so you're
remarried,
about 10 years old when your father passed away.
yes. So
Do you
I was
remember
10. I remember, yeah. And he's actually here buried in Tucson.
Okay.
So and the whole thing is that I never had a father figure, and then growing up, like college, like especially in high school, my mom just wheeled out on me. It's like, hey, you have to do good in school. You have to, I bring home B's, she get upset. You know,
kind of the stereotypical
it's like
Asian mother.
She'll crack the whips on me.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the type of and she would say things that it could be devastating to hear when I was,
It's a lot of pressure on a young person, especially going through
if
that loss.
she my mom was very old fashioned. And this made me realize that I love her more and more, because when I was younger, I didn't understand that.
How much she was fighting for you.
Yeah, she was, I couldn't go out. I couldn't, and I keep telling my, all my friends, this is unfair, certain things like, but she just, and my brother couldn't do anything, and plus I get the whip on them with them too, so I just feel like I was out of, it's like. And
we're going to go to break real briefly here. When we come back, we're going to hear a little bit more about what life has been like for you here in Tucson, and more about who you are now and how you're living your best life right after these messages. And welcome back, friends, to Kiki's Keys to Sharing, Kiki's Keys to Unlocking Your Best Life, sharing stories of people who have been through their worst and are now living their best. And Kit Fung is with me, Tucsonian now. You've been here since at least 82, you said, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Moved here when he was just a young elementary age kid with his mom after his father and siblings came before. Got here, and then Dad unexpectedly passed away. He must have been pretty young.
Yeah. He was 68. So when
that
he
is
passed,
too young. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah. Yeah. So to me, it was, it didn't hit me until later in life. So. But
it does come and hit you. At some point, you have to process that grief. No matter how young you are, you feel that loss. You were sharing as a teenager. You really did miss having a parental figure. Nowadays, do you have children of your own now?
Yes, I do. I do have one. He's 11. So.
Wow. Do you find yourself having a different relationship with him intentionally because you didn't have a father?
Yes, absolutely. So, like I mentioned, when he left, I was young. I didn't get to see him again when I came to the state. And then when I came to the state, he passed like before we even get to know each other. You know what I mean? So. But I do remember, I do remember his smile. I do remember when he comes home, he doesn't yell. He doesn't and I remember he will bring me some kind of treat. It's either ice cream, cookies, like every time he come home from work. So
even though he was a doctor, he didn't mind sugaring you up.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah. But, and of course I'm more like, because I was, I guess, being pampered, but I didn't feel like I was being pampered in Vietnam.
I'm sure he was trying to
with
kind of
my
make up
nanny.
some time too, though.
Yeah, and now I do miss my nanny. My nanny,
really?
she's unfortunately she was she there was an accident. We have a pet, and I now blame myself on it. I have a pet, and unfortunately when he ran out across the street, my nanny ran after her and she got hit by a car.
Oh dear, hon.
So and
she passed away.
Yeah,
then?
she passed away.
Okay.
So of course, our family, we have a big funeral for her and everything. And
how old were you at that point?
I was young. I was 5 or 6, and
So you had a lot of loss very early on.
Yeah.
You said it did come back to you later in life. when did you start to notice you had to kind of go back and reprocess that grief?
Um, with that, I guess, high school puberty, I guess,
Yeah.
and you start thinking like,
Who am I?
yeah, because with my, like I mentioned, my mom was hard on me,
Mm-hmm.
and there's time that, I tell myself why I'm here, so
Is mom still with you today?
yes, yes.
And how is she as a grandma?
Oh, she's quiet now, and I miss that.
Yeah.
Reason why I miss it because just last year she was diagnosed with well, she had a seizure, so she had a memory loss. So now it's like every time I talk to her, I have to FaceTime her.
Mm-hmm.
So she does she remember a little, but yeah. So that bring me a lot closer to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird because when I live with her, we bumps head, right?
Oh, my son and I
but,
did too.
But
Yeah.
like when now she's away, it's like
You miss her.
I miss that, you know?
Mhm.
So even when I was in college, I mean, I lived in a dorm. I was like, yes, I'm out of the house, So, but I miss her cooking. So I would call
Aw.
her. It's like, Mom. So, but she taught me like how to make pho. She taught me
Oh, sign me up. Anytime I'm not feeling well, I order pho because it's better than chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, my mom is you never miss a home cooking. Cooking is like the
Oh,
best,
nice.
So, but yeah, I still to today. She's out in Fountain Valley now. She lived with my sister out there.
Nice.
So and of course, I try to visit her as much as I can when I have vacation.
So how do you use the, I mean, lots of loss young, lots of changes young, and that's always hard on somebody as they're growing up. You experience the most of that having to kind of start figuring it out as a teenager. Fast forward now, you're, no offense, and a few years away from being a teenager at this point, you
Yeah.
and me both, my friend. How do you see those family connections or those family stories, memories, traumas, whatever, however you identify it, influencing who you are today and how you justify that?
it's all about every day that I'm here. I thank my mom, for bringing us over here, freedom.
Mhm.
I get to do the work, I get to choose. So I relate that to my son.
Mhm.
Like, of course, I'm not hard like the way my mom is hard on me, but I educate him. I told him, it's like, look, we came from this culture. We came from, and I took him back to Vietnam just to let him see.
You have been back.
Yes, I have
How,
been back.
when was that?
It's oh my God! It's the first time I gone back was 2007. 2007 was the first, and honestly, I never wanted to go back because my mom, sort of tricked me to go back because at that time she was kind of matchmaking for me,
okay.
So, but I told her, it's like, Mom, you brought us over here for a reason.
Sure.
Our home was is communist. We lost our home. We lost everything. This is freedom. So I consider myself like more Americanized,
Mhm.
So I didn't have a lot of Vietnamese friend. I don't, so, but when I gone back, I seen everything changes there. The road got bigger, wider. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
So they are very westernized now. And yeah, my first 3 days there, I was devastated. I was like, oh, how do I cross the street? Or I'm afraid someone going to come by and pick
Culture shock, isn't
yeah,
it? Yeah.
yeah. So so since I know the language, and I'm a guy, it's like, okay, I can handle this, But
What
yeah,
was your son's impression of Vietnam?
I'm sorry.
What was your son's impression? You said you brought him back.
Oh yeah, so he loves it, but he hate the weather. It's
Oh,
hot.
it's very, very humid.
But
yeah. Mhm.
but he get to see the culture. He get to with my in-laws, like my mom and dad, my wife's side. So he gets to see his grandma and grandpa, and yeah, they're not like how my mom acts. So he see two sides of the family, right? He see my side, how my mom act versus how my wife's family, mom and dad act.
And is
So
your wife's family also Vietnamese or okay?
yeah. So
Does
like
that make it easier then for you guys to raise your son and to connect with those
yes,
roots?
yeah, connect with the culture and connect just to for him to understand is like how hard it is
Mhm.
because I literally when we took him there and we see the changes and we also know like where the bad neighborhood is at or the bad area is at.
Mhm.
So I let him see that too, so he can experience like, hey, it's not all great
Do you think you have a
anywhere.
greater appreciation for what you have now because of those experiences?
Yes, a lot of great appreciation and being here and you know and another thing too when I came to the state I didn't really well, I took my time to be a citizen. You
Mhm.
know, my mom is like, you need to be a citizen now. Like after where the mandatory like the 5 years thing, and I drag it out. Because I thought it's like, well, maybe he's not here, but
Right.
yes,
And did you become a citizen?
yes, I
When was
became a
that?
citizen in college.
Very good. Well, congratulations on that. I
Thank
mean,
you. Yeah.
college is demanding enough, and then you had to add that on too. So how exciting! We're almost out of time. So Kit, you are a very successful salesperson. You're out there. I met you because you're just constantly networking. You're living what I see is your best life. What does your best life mean to you in about a minute?
Oh, okay. Best life is pretty much get to do what you want without having people tell you what to do. Of course, you want to share your wealth. The reason why I pick sale because of course, is my challenge. So my to me, I like to challenge myself. To do everything in life, and I just
Maybe a
feel
little bit mom's voice in there telling you
yeah,
to
yeah,
be to
yes,
always
and I
challenge.
think I think my mom did pass that down to me, like being hard.
So
Uh,
you got blessing out of it, but you're just approaching it differently with your
right,
son.
yeah,
Right.
a whole different approach, and of course, family wise.
I
So
am so grateful for you to be here. I'm sorry we're out of time. I could have you on 5 more times. We could still keep talking stories. And
Right.
if your guys like, well, this voice is so familiar. Yes, he has been on before as a co-host. Kit Fong with a
BPSI.
BBSI, doing payroll and all of your business needs. Thank you for being a guest on Kiki's Keys to Unlocking Your Best Life. And if you did miss any previous episodes, catch us on YouTube and Facebook. Go be the best you can be because no one else can do it better than you.